Hello and welcome to Blue Girls Video Podcast. I have dreams for you for May, from May 2014 to June 2014. Hopefully I'll be able to get all of it in the 2014 for June. So the first one is, in this dream, these two women, one being blonde, one of the women received a subliminal message, someone is going to harm you. She saw the message, and then when she looked again, it was gone. She thought she should call the cops, but her friend told her to call the crisis center. They didn't see the message. So this dream was a little bizarre. Well, some of these dreams are. But this one woman, I don't know if she actually saw a message or she saw something that would make her think that someone would harm me. And so she had an option of either calling the cops or calling the crisis center. And neither of that happened, but this dream was very vivid. So I'm not for sure what she saw. If it was, something she picked up or something she actually did see. Okay, so this might be a continuation of what I just read. Gray Rabbit, I was a little out of it. This woman had a stack of check stubs. They said I would need a bathing suit and would be on the schedule for 2 days per week. They would deduct the $5,000 out of my check. They thought that I would pick Colorado. I mentioned all of the states were border states. Then I was outside and saw a gray rabbit, and then went back into the house or trailer. The rabbit came up to the screen door and saw me. I mentioned how I hit my head when I was younger. Okay, so like I said, I think this is a continuation of the last dream. So whatever someone was gonna charge me $5,000. They would just take it out of my check. They wanted me to work 2 days a week. I don't know where. And this included swimming. So it must have been they wanted me to do some physical activity in order to help my physical health. And they said, well, they thought I would pick Colorado. And, I said, well, all the states have been border states. This is true. Any place that I have lived, it's always been like on the border of something, like the border to the ocean, the border to Mexico. It's always been a border state surrounding the United States. And then I remember that I had the window, or not the window, the door open, and with just a screen door, and a gray rabbit came and looked in the door and just kind of poked around, just trying to see, what was going on. So, and this is true because I mentioned this in my last blog podcast. I mentioned how I hit my head when I was younger. This is true. When I was 19 years old, I've passed out 3 times in my life. The last time was when I was 19. I passed out. I hit my head on the cement. And the left side of the head, and many years later when I was 32, after my mom passed away, I started having migraines on the left side of my head. And I would tell people I felt like, this is like every day, every other day, I felt like someone hit me in the head with a bat, And so they were checking for seizures. They didn't find seizures, but they said it was severe stress. But it was like that for 6 months. But I noticed after that I started having memory problems. Not like memory problems like I'm going to forget to, turn off the fucking oven and stuff like that. But more, just I think it was short-term memory. And then like people would talk about things that from the past and I wouldn't remember. So stuff like that. I don't know exactly. False accusation. They thought that I did it intentionally. I said to them, why would I do that? Some girl is around and then I am around some guys. I was thinking about contacting my brother and going to visit him in North Carolina. So, yeah, this is from the last dream. They thought I did it intentionally. No, I haven't done anything intentionally. I have memory issues and I don't know what exactly they thought I did intentionally, but the answer is no. Suspended. I was on a bus and I saw a group of men wearing blue uniforms. I wanted to get off the bus. Boston. Yeah, I remember this. There was something going on. In I don't know where it was. It was in the Pacific Northwest in the Dream. So there was something that was going on downtown. So the next one is group home. Hey, you. I was at this group home. At first, there was only this one girl around me. Then some guy showed up and we're sitting on a couch. This one black girl showed me a coupon for a cab. Something accidentally fell down in the sink of the bathroom. Some guy mentioned that the television wasn't supposed to be on, and I said, I don't even watch TV. This one girl accused me of drinking. I said, I don't drink because of my gastritis. I figured out that I wasn't going home. One guy kind of scared me a little bit by getting a little too close to my face. Yeah, so I don't know what was going on. And, this could be a, continuation of everything I've just been saying. I think that, so with this one, there was like just a girl around, and then later a bunch of people came back and they were kind of weird. A couple of them were kind of weird. This one, a black girl showed me she like some kind of coupon to take a cab. And it was like a house or whatever. So something accidentally fell down in the sink of the bathroom. So, I don't know. And then this guy, there's a front room, and this guy said, well, the TV isn't supposed to be on. I said, I don't even watch TV. And at the time, this was 2014, I read more than I watched TV. I actually watch more movies, I think. I don't really know a lot of the TV shows. I still don't, and this is dated 2022. This one girl accused me of drinking. Maybe that's what they, trying to have me get there for. And that's not true because I have a medical condition that's called gastritis, and there's certain things that upset your stomach. My stomach, they told me it was spicy foods, but that doesn't really bother my stomach. Too much caffeine does. Like, I haven't bought a 6-pack of pop, not booze, a 6-pack in like 5 or 6 years, because I drink it and then I just have medical problems. And so I cannot drink. My friend who's an alcoholic, he calls me a lightweight. I can't drink a lot of booze because it upsets my stomach. I just can't. I can only have so much, and then I don't want to drink it anymore. So this happened when I was 32. So anyway, yeah, so this one weird guy came really close to my face. I don't know why, but he just did. Mexican kids. I was at a large house with a couple of Mexican children. One boy was hiding under his covers in his bedroom, and his sister was in the front room working on a project. So that's weird because I was just like at a group home, and then I'm here with these children. So sometimes these dreams are like, this is what could happen. So anyway, yeah, so that was that. And then the last one for May of 2014 is Navy or Science. There was this black gay guy around me. Someone was hounding him a little bit. I mentioned that I missed Florida. Then I was at this one place, possibly Navy or Science. There was this large, about 3x3 glass item that was held up on a stand. I think it was like kind of like a magnifying glass or something, when you go and you look through it, like kind of like a telescope kind of, and you can just look through it and to see something further away. So I don't know what this was about, someone was kind of hounding him a bit. I don't know what that was about. I mentioned I missed Florida. I did live in Florida a long time ago, and then I missed Florida for like 10 years, but I try to get out there like on their low-income stuff, but it's just one place came up, but it wasn't really good. I read that it had a lot of break-ins, and I was like going to be on the first floor, so that wasn't really a good match. So it's just really hard if you're not in the state. So anyway, Okay, so unwanted. This mom and daughter were in a bathroom. Some girl threatened to call the cops, so I replied, this is started May of 2014. So I said, go ahead, so will I, and started dialing a number. There was water dripping from a hole in the ceiling. I couldn't find something. Then both people wanted me to leave. There was this man and woman in the large office full of cabinets for storage. Some of the papers were different colors. Then for some reason I started hitting myself in my head. I mentioned a letter word for word about leaving on June 30th. There was a blonde hair woman again in the dream, the one that has been in my dreams the last month or so. Then this part of the dream seemed so real that I wasn't for sure if it was a dream or actually happened to me. I heard someone messing with a locked door. There was only one person that I actually trusted. Okay. So what was going on is that there was there was water dripping in the corner of the apartment, like the living room, or I think it was like the living room. And so they were kind of the management was trying to find an excuse just to get these people out of here. This is a mom and daughter, but I thought it was me. But anyway, so they're like, they threatened to call the cops, and they're like, well, fine. So, because they were going to take, legal action or whatever because of this, dripping of the water, which didn't really make sense because it was coming from above, right? So they, it was just an excuse because they wanted, they both wanted me to leave. So I mentioned how I was going to put my notice in anyway. Yeah, it did seem really real. So, there was someone messing with a locked door, my door, and I found out later, this is June of 2014, that there was some guy going around kind of messing with people's doors. So I think that it actually happened, but I have had dreams in which someone is messing with my door, or, someone's trying to get in my front door. And there was only one person that I actually trusted, and at the time that was my manager. This is a different manager. Had nothing to do with this dream. So kittens. One. There was an overweight woman who reminded me of an old friend of mine. She was sitting at a table with some red liquid on it. I told this one girl that they didn't receive their tax credit. She really didn't respond. Then I wanted to take a trip either to Vancouver or some other place, possibly California, 9 or 2:15 p.m. I was thinking about getting a pet. There were two kittens, one being multicolored and the other black and white. And I chose neither one. I was embarrassed about something. I think at the time I did want to get a kitten, and I don't know, I think I was just kind of looking around, and I kind of still wanted it like a black and white mixed, maybe a tuxedo kind of kitten. So I don't know why they didn't receive their tax credit or what was going on with that. I wanted to take a trip to Vancouver or some other place. I don't know why I can't talk. Sometimes that happens. I gotta drink my water. Dumbfounded. There were some women that are standing at a desk counter and looked dumbfounded. I put some coins into a pop machine and didn't receive my pop. I hit the release button and did not get my money back. 58. Let other women go ahead of me. There is an open office room with a box of files. One woman hugged another woman. Okay. Hotel. There is this building with dark brown interior that has several numbers. I feel myself being physically moved. One girl mentioned that she wouldn't recommend a male landlord. Then I had to be out by a certain date. It won't take effect until August 30th. Okay, so I think what was going on is, it says hotel, but I think that what was going on is the current residence that I was living at. I think that the manager or somebody else wanted to move me to a different apartment, and I could sense being physically moved in the dream. And some girl, whatever, she didn't recommend a certain male landlord. I don't know who it was. It wasn't the landlord that I had currently. It was somebody else. So whatever, I had to be out by a certain date, or, kind of, possibly move by the August 30th. Knife. I am sitting in the back seat of a large black car, possibly a limousine. The window is rolled down, and I see this large butcher knife coming towards the window. So in order to protect myself, I roll up the window. Okay, so in real life, a couple days later, I think it was like a couple days or up to a week later, I saw this one black car. It wasn't a limousine. It was a black car with tinted windows. And someone rolled down the window, and that was, a little bit, not much. But that was kind of strange, because in the dream, someone was like, they rolled down the window and then they showed a knife. So that was kind of bizarre. Someone else, somewhere else. Okay, I was shown a possible move in my future. I saw trees that were not evergreen, not familiar to me. So I was glad that I was moving on from current place. Someone wanted to see where I was at, not in the Midwest. I was looking at a receipt. I was going to have someone pick me up and then reimburse her for gas for a weekend trip. I didn't think I would be there that long. I was going to switch a date stating I was out of town. Okay. Yeah, so in this dream, I saw trees, and this dream took place when I was in the Pacific Northwest, and the trees weren't green. So I did not think that, I think it was a move somewhere else. It could have been the Midwest. That's all I can think of. It wouldn't have been the Southwest. Well, it could have been, but most likely not because of the desert. Oh, someone wanted to see where I was at, not in the middle. Okay. So whatever, I don't know why. I guess someone was helping me, and I was going to, go out someplace for a weekend to maybe check out a place or something. I don't know. Continued from previous dream. Okay, I was definitely someplace else. Again, this area doesn't look familiar to me. I was happy and mentioned Florida. $50 per week or in a week. That's nothing. I can see people lined up outside from high-rise building. This kid owed $3,000. I guess someone got some money and was going to help me. I see an area, kind of like a storage area. Well, I think $50 is probably 50%. Ships. An aggressive woman was telling everyone off. I stood up to her a little bit. I was somewhere else and saw a body of water with a couple of ships in the distance. So, whenever I have like an aggressive woman, I think she's from New York. Just because that's what I mean. I think that she's living in wherever I'm living, but she's actually from New York. Come running. This woman was sitting on this toilet. She thought she would go to Colorado and then try to get someone to go with her to Florida. I went to purchase a couple of food items and forgot my card. Some overweight, black-haired woman was running a little bit towards my place. There was my friend's ID. There was a couple of U.S. Treasury checks in a pile of mail. Okay, so this woman was sitting on this toilet. Okay. So I don't remember, whatever. She was thinking about Colorado, and I mentioned Florida. So I just remember that a woman, an overweight woman, excuse me, that's a, hey, yous, was like coming running for something. I don't know, it was urgent. That's all I can think of. Oreo. There was a couple of women around, and one of them was cuddling with her boyfriend. There is this small as a dime, black like an Oreo thing floating around in the room like an orb. Come here. My twin cousins were around me. We were born a day apart and on the same year. My aunt knew that was going to happen. Shh. Her and her my mom would have held each other's hand. Hello, say hello. at the hospital. I was sad and crying. I needed to save my money in order to move. So that's true. I do have cousins, twin cousins, and they were born on the same year as I was, except for they were born one day apart. And my aunt did say, well, if we would have known they were going to have, the babies around the same time, we would have been at the same hospital, hold each other's hand. Locked. I heard someone turning the doorknob of my place again. Door was locked. This one girl wanted to get together with some guy as friends, but an ethnic girl was interested in him romantically, so she backed off. Then there was some blonde gay guy. His friends told him no one really shops at a certain retail store, but he did. The aunt. I heard in my dream you are going to be in contact with your aunt. Letter R. There were a couple of people sitting down at a square table. I really can't see who is sitting there. There are stickers and someone has an elegant beige letter R. They were going to put it someplace on the board, but then moved it. Then I saw a man running a little bit. An elegant beige letter R. I think that was my new doctor at the time. 3 people. There were 3 people in the background. One was a Mexican guy, a guy with a strange messy hair, and a clean-cut white guy. I asked someone why I was being followed and that I was disabled. One bank is from, not sure, California wasn't true. One is from Minnesota, and the other is from Washington. He didn't answer me, and I was somewhat, and he was somewhat rude, so I left. There was a Mexican woman with long black hair, and she mentioned something about falling in love. She showed me a bathing suit. Some girl had some small scars on her leg. We were at a large building. Kitty litter. There was this woman cleaning up kitty litter in her garage. I mentioned a swear word, and one of the neighbors overheard me. Then I was sitting on a bus next to this woman who wouldn't shut up. I couldn't concentrate. I lost a little bit. Tarantula. I was at this house with several rooms in it. One room had some spiders in it. Another room, a girl was in there with her pet tarantula. Then there is some guy sleeping upstairs. Part of my journal or something else was missing. I mentioned the dream about letter R. There is some woman around me who has paperwork. Blank. This woman was standing at this counter to herself. There was a form that was blank on the front and back. I was just there. Then I was contemplating flying somewhere. A white guy would pick me up, Georgia, Florida. Then I was at this one office and went up close to one of the doors, which had an Asian guy's name across it, LADNT, ADNT. I looked at other posters to see where I was located. Writing small, a man had either a black or brown billfold with about $15 in it with a white strip for a professional phone number. Some woman was helping me a little bit. The water faucet in the bathroom was leaking a little bit. I have 3 more. There's 3 more. Rock. There was banging on the front kitchen floor. I was in the water, hanging on to a rock for dear life. Yeah, I remember, this is kind of weird, but it was this huge boulder, and I was hanging on to it. Housekeeping. I went down to this basement at this one place. The woman, they all were blonde. Something about housekeeping and that I had to do it. Okay, this is the last one. Last of June of 2014. Yes. East. This white woman with long brown hair is kind of happy-go-lucky. There are 2 guys talking violently, going to the east direction. That's the end of it. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.